Hello, everyone. Welcome back to episode 3 of the Enigmatica 6 single-player Let's Play series. So, today, there are a couple of things I want to get started with, but it's been a crazy day playing offline, off camera, rather. So I've been streaming some of the sort of boring progression and mining and slight exploration on stream. That way I've got something to do on stream all the time, and you'll notice that I've got a pretty decent set of upgraded tools. And that's because we have been exploring some of these apotheosis towers. And I did cut in a couple of little tidbits from the stream in episode 2, so hopefully you can see some of that. Some of those things that I did, including rebuilding this house with some nicer looking materials and finding a Fortune 6 book. So today I want to get that Fortune 6 book applied, as well as possibly getting into just a skosh of Create to see if we can get started with some enhanced material processing and get some basic torque going, get some basic work just overall in Create started. So taking a look at our quest book, we do have a couple of different things here inside of the quest book. We can take a look at some of the free XP items that we get for Alex's mob. So the Biome Shall Go, Bountiful, which we found on stream, a Nature's Compass, which I'm not going to make at the moment, but I'll make one here in a little bit. Talking about Lost Trinkets, which we do have. We have the Luck coin currently on. That's why I have Luck 2 at all times. So that's most of the quests for the early game adventure stuff. Challenges, like I said, we cannot get. Oh, and I did redeem the Akashic Tome and made that backpack, which I think I did over the stream. The backpack recipe is pretty straightforward. It's just 4 leather, 4 string, and a chest. So I cut up a saddle and used the saddle that I cut up on a cutting board from Farmer's Delight over here. So, this place is looking a lot better with the cute little hedges inside and out with some of this, these new materials making it feel a little bit more homey. It's feeling a little more Christmassy now, honestly, but that's fine, you know, it's a starter house. It's good to have something feel nice and homey and warm. I'm still hearing that zombie underground, too. But there are a couple of things that I wanted to do that I didn't want to do off camera, so I wanted to save them specifically. So I want to see about looking for some way to store experience. Experience gem grants experience on use. I know that there's this guy, but it requires a bottle of enchanting, which we don't have anything we need for this. We would need a centrifuge or a pedestal or a villager. I'm just gonna search XP. So taking a look here, I'm not seeing a lot of options for storing experience. There was a mod called XP Tome, and there's also XP Storage. I'm not seeing it, so I don't know that we really have a lot of choice, except for maybe this one, which I don't even know that we have. Oh no, we do have most of what we would need for that. So we could do that. Let's take this guy. Why does that create itself? I'm not sure. My brain was trying to do the old auto crafting recipe or crafter recipe. Let me turn off show FPS counter. I did install the halogen mod to help with some of the performance issues I've been having. There's the pedestal upgrade that I'm curious about, because I haven't done pedestals at all. I'd be interested. I would be interested into getting into pedestals. So to make this, we would need a fluid to XP conversions. This is a memory essence bucket. We get this by doing what now? Interesting. Okay, I'm not really sure how that's supposed to work. How do I create this? Oh, and you require one of these in the first place. Okay, so it doesn't look like that's exactly an option. At least not at the moment. Filling by spout perhaps could be a way to go. But I'm not sure that there is a really great way for us to store our XP. If I'm wrong about this, please let me know in the comments. I just looking through and I can't think of Can't think of anything that would do it. If anything, I would have to imagine it'd be apotheosis. But all it does is add that recipe for the experience bottle of enchanting. And this recipe, I mean, I can pull this off for the most part. The glowstone will be a challenge, but the honey I think is probably going to be the biggest thing. So anyways, part of why I wanted to do that is because I've got some good enchantments on this gear, or in these books that I can put on. So Miner's Fervor I definitely would like. And then I have Fortune 6, and I want to put these two on my pickaxe as well as Mending. I don't believe I have Unbreaking, but that's alright. I think we'll be fine. So, what I was hoping to do was to apply that. Now let's see, what would I get? I don't think there's any really great need to do this. Miner's Fervor cannot be applied when something's already on it. So let's make a Grindstone real quick. That is 2 sticks, a stone slab. Let's grab a stone slab, get a stone slab cooked up. And we can ideally get everything kind of cooked up here. It looks like I'm not going to end up needing these after all. And yeah, Miner's Fervor is incompatible with efficiency, which is fine, because Miner's Fervor is very good. It's a very good way to get materials very quickly. Let's see, we need 2 planks. And that should be all we need there. We have the stone cutter, so we can make our singular slab. And that gets us a grindstone. Perfect. So we will strip that enchantment off of there. I just want to see if there's any chance I'll get Unbreaking or something. Maybe I'll give this a try real quick. If I can get Unbreaking, that would be cool. Nope, just Soulbound. Well, that's an add-on, I guess. So we'll do Miner's Fervor. That costs 4 levels. And then Fortune 6 is 13. And Mending is 5. Now that is a crazy good pickaxe. The sword currently has Soulbound, and that's all it has on it, which isn't really bad, but I think I had like a Looting 1 book, and I have Mending as well. So I'm going to toss these on here real quick. Let's see, what's the cost to do that? 2? And then 6, okay. It looks like we will need to go get a little more XP, but I'm going to keep this around in there, that way we have it for later. And I'm not going to keep 2 pieces of stone, or 1 piece of stone slab. And we'll just bring some sticks with me in case I need them as we go. Looking good. That looks like a good assortment. So I do have a couple of random oddities for tools. I think I've been storing some of these in here. Like this netherite axe, this one has extra, it's called overhealing, and it's got a couple of other attributes, but the diamond axe that I'm using now is completely unbreakable. So that's why I'm still going to be keeping that around instead as an alternative. And for now, I think that's just the move for us. I'd love to find where this zombie underneath us is. So maybe we grab a shovel. I think I put mine away just now. Maybe we grab a shovel and go see that. And then we have all this fortune on us now. Fortune 6 from the stream. That I think we should be sufficiently ready to go and try out. So yeah, I think honestly what I'm probably going to do is just go up here and start working on getting some create stuff worked up. Just because I do think that that's going to be the way we want to go. And I'm pretty sure I have enough zinc at this point. Been trying to get every single material, and especially zinc, that I can get anytime I can. Just because I know zinc and copper are like the 2 biggest factors of create and getting stuff done in create. But hopefully with this area lit up, we won't have that one zombie constantly bothering us underground. A lot of coal we just got. I was really hoping to see if Fortune applied to the clusters that drop, the clumps, but it doesn't look like it. That's just one. That's just one. But that got us another 10 zinc, so that's very nice. Let's go home now. And I'm going to go ahead and get some of this zinc and some of this copper cooking up. I believe I have 2 blast furnaces now, right? Yep, looks like it. So we'll toss some of the stuff in here, the rest of it in here. Oops. I forgot I had a separate chest for those kinds of drops. Very nice. Looking very good. So, we already have some copper, but let's go ahead and get the rest of this smelted up. And then as for the zinc, we're not doing super great, but it's not the worst position we could be in. So I'd like to play a little bit of a workaround when it comes to Create. Create has a couple of kind of more frustrating crafting recipes, and in a smaller mod pack, they're frustrating, but they're worthwhile because it's the only way to get any sort of technological advances. But in a big kitchen sink pack like this one, we have tons of different choices. We're never refined or restrained to any one specific mod. So I'd love to look into getting a kiln to make getting our brass a little simpler. So we're going to need sandstone and bricks for that. We should have plenty of clay. Let's see, the kiln is a 2x2, so we're going to need 8. So we're going to need 4 of this recipe. The quest is probably for 8, so let's go ahead and take all 8. Yep. Go ahead and get that quest knocked out. That gets us copper ingots. Good. Copper will be very helpful. So as mentioned, we have a shader grab bag. Let's take some of these little extras that we have and toss them over here. I already had some tough fabric for some reason, probably something I found in one of the crates that I snagged. So let's grab some coal and get some brass smelting up. I think that would be a very useful first step. I don't know exactly how much I need, but it shouldn't be much more than maybe 16-ish. We'll see, though. I could definitely be wrong. So, looking further at the quests, what about Create? Create has some quests, yeah? So Create gets us the wrench for that as well. Very nice. Farmer's Delight just for checking a box. We get a minecart just for checking a box. We get the engineer's goggles just for checking a box. And then a schematic, which is paper and light blue dye and a whole bunch of other things. So I'm going to put the goggles on. This will allow us to see stress from Create as we work and run and try to get things going. We are doing very nicely with the brass here. That's plenty of copper to get our copper casings and early game stuff. So we want, let's see, we need water wheels and shafts and all sorts of things. So millstone is probably a good place to start, honestly. I'm not going to go down the mechanical lineup yet, and the schematics are cool, but I don't really need any at the moment, at least not yet. So why don't we look into getting ourselves a shaft? We're going to need diorite for that. I don't believe we have any. All right, very good. Steal this just because it's here. And make a stairway up. 36 andesite is good enough for how little we're really going to ever have to use Create after we get started. I just wanted to learn something new, show you guys a new mod that I have never played with on camera. I've definitely used it enough to know my way through it and all. It's just I do have a lot of inexperience. Oh, I did actually get a pretty substantial amount extra after that. Awesome. So let's get some andesite alloy. And then if we come over here, I have that. Oh, it did that thing again. I really hate that recipe. Whoever added that recipe thinking that I wouldn't want to use a vanilla recipe, that's industrial decor. Yeah, I've never liked that mod. And, really on my bad side. Anyways, I'll toss that back in there, and we have andesite alloy. So andesite alloy can be used to make shafts like so, and we're gonna need a few. We get 16 gets us a quest, so we may as well, right? That gets us a create loot box and some kelp. So we got kelp and some super glue. Looks like I got kelp and then more kelp. Then kelp is part of making these mechanical belts, so that's kind of crazy useful, actually. So we dry the kelp, and then the kelp is turned into a belt. So if we wanted this, we're going to need 24 kelp. So we're kind of going to need to grow more. So if we do this, and then bone meal, perfect. So I'm going to smelt up this kelp and get ourselves some conveyor belts to get one last achievement or quest done, and then I will actually get some I mean, this isn't not advancing towards better create stuff. Belts are actually very useful, but I want to get some pretty direct progress made here. So I'm just going to work on that and get some more andesite smelter, or grabbed real quick probably as well. So I'll be back in just a little. All right, got ourselves a little bit more andesite, and with that thought in mind, I am going to go ahead and get more iron cooking while we are just kind of sitting here running around doing little random things. So if you're ever stuck in create, you don't know how to use something, you can hold the W key to ponder what that item does or how it's used. So you right click a belt from A to B and it'll connect the two shafts together, and it will also transfer the momentum. So they're very cool in that sense. Anyways, let me drop off a couple of items here. We did pick up a few goodies. And we also have just a couple of random things here and there. And I want to get started with create with a water wheel. So let's take a look at the water wheel. This is sort of where everyone starts. This is why it's one of the first quests here. But this is also like an easy source of momentum. So we're going to want these guys. We're also going to want smaller shafts, which I believe... oh, no, cogwheel. So if we take a look at the quest line here, our next step is to make a windmill, because the windmill can handle a lot of stress. And we currently cannot handle a lot of stress. 192 sounds like a good bit, but if you think about it, where we want to be is we want to have crushing wheels from Create. You craft these in a pair. You look at this and you think that's not that expensive, and it's not, but you have to make this in a mechanical crafter. That's why it is so big. And a mechanical crafter isn't all that expensive. You get 3 of these. It tells you we need 21. So if you can do any math, you're going to know that we're going to need quite a few, at least 7 of that recipe to get that 21. But that's okay, because these guys, you know, they're not that bad. We have brass plates, brass casing. That's why I was working on all the brass. However, we have to get there first. So I can use a hammer to create the brass plates, and I think that's probably what I'm going to do. But the way you're intended to do it is to use pressing. And you can see these have a high impact, but we can press a brass plate. Again, if it weren't for the fact that I already have 2 hammers and I only need 1, I would probably do it the create way, but we're more than sufficient as far as the hammer system goes. So I think I'm just going to take advantage of the immersive hammer recipe. That said, we do still need to get stuff for the windmill, and that, like I said, was all in this guide here. So we're going to want a windmill bearing, some radial chassis, and white sails. So looking at this, to get a windmill, the windmill has, like I said, much higher capacity. We're going to need limestone, or some sort of stone, a shaft, and then a turntable. So the turntable, a shaft, and some slab. I think that was it, right? Yep, so there's the windmill bearing. We need a radial chassis. That's going to be logs. All right. And I think I'm going to actually need 6 in the end. The radial chassis, what we're going to do essentially is we're going to build out a rotational system. It can either be a normal windmill, so, you know, one that goes on the side, or it can be, and more likely it will be, something that goes from the top and would have sails sticking out of the sides, like so. So if that's the case, then we're obviously going to need to rethink sort of how we design this if we're going to have a vertical windmill versus a horizontal. I prefer the vertical ones. They're a little easier to build, a little easier to work on, easier to manage, etc. And we're going to need some sails. Sails are probably going to be our biggest pain point right now, just on account of the fact that we do not have a whole lot of wool right now. We have 44, actually. That's more than I thought we had. So then, we grab the white sails. We're going to need sticks, and we're going to need more of those alloy. That gets us some sail frames. I know I just made a lot, but there's a reason. You use quite a few of them in the end. And that gets us our windmill advancement with some super glue and something else. Adjustable pulse repeater. So, the reason that I even made the water wheel in the first place was because I forgot, or actually wasn't even aware that the Cube.js recipe for brass plates was in. Otherwise, I would have needed to make the brass plates somehow before I could get into the windmill. So that being said, it's time that we get to play with some super glue as well, which is very fun stuff. So what we're going to do, since I apparently didn't need this after all, I'll fix that hole in just a bit. But what we can do is we'll take our windmill bearing right here. I'll go and reload. We'll take our rotational chassis. Make a pretty big windmill here. And we can break my legs. We can place these like so, and I'm going to place them 2 blocks out. Like that. And voila, we are done. So now if I right click on this, it's going to disappear. Alrighty, so I reset the pack. Mostly I just tweaked one mod anyway, but I reset it just to be safe. Everything seems to be working beautifully. So if I right click this locks it into place, and if I right click it again, it unlocks it. So this allows it to move. You'll see it'll even push me around. Create is one of the most intensely accurate mods I think I've ever used. You can see it even as it pushes me. It's not just pushing me in a circle, it's pushing me in a spiral. So I will eventually fall out of it, which is completely correct. And it blows my mind how well it works. It's completely smooth, completely accurate. You can stand on these as well. So like if you wanted, here I can do a funny bit of parkour just to show you that it's really just that accurate. So if I hop here, I can walk on this. And if I jump, I will in fact, like it will move underneath me. It won't stick me to it or anything. Which is pretty cool. Like, see, it still moves. It's not a block though, so I can't like right click on it to add a block on top. So just something to keep in mind. But yeah, it's a super great mod in the sense that it's crazy accurate. Really well done, really well executed. So, okay, mechanical crafter time. So taking a look at the gear we have available to us, I think we should be good. We might have to go to the Nether, actually. I realize that now. So to get a crushing wheel, which I just accidentally unbookmarked, we're going to need mechanical crafters. To get mechanical crafters, we're going to need electron tubes, which are polished rose quartz. We need redstone for that, which we have 0 of. And we're going to also need some quartz for that, which we also have 0 of. So what I think I'm going to do after I upgrade this chest, which is already full, is go to the go mining for a little bit, see what we can get covered from there, get a lot of redstone if we can, because I don't think I have any at all. So we'll get some redstone, and then we'll try to get some obsidian, because I don't think I have a whole lot. I only have 6, which we found just kind of running around and looting things as we found them. So what I will do is I will get what I need in order to get us covered to continue progress on Create. So let me go do that real quick, and I'll be back in just a hot second for you, and for me it'll be possibly hours. Alright, so I did some mining, got some redstone dust. I've been sitting here trying to repair my pick a little bit by gathering the XP from the smelting process here, so just trying to help clean it up. And I realized another really easy way to do this would just be to grab that nether quartz, and that would get us a good bit of experience as well. So I've got a couple of things that I wanted to clean out of here before I go to the nether. I don't know if the warp scroll is explicitly going to be helpful or not, so we'll find out. I'm just going to leave that torch in there. Those aren't helpful when they are doused. I'll do that, and I think that's a good start to a slightly cleaner inventory. So what we can do is get ourselves a flint and steel. I don't actually know that I've run across any gravel, so we may be in a bit of a tight spot for that. Let's see what we can do. Oh, I also got this miner's pick trinket. This somewhat improves my mining speed, but I haven't been able to tell the difference, mostly because I already mined so very quickly. Especially with miner's fervor, it's pretty crazy. Alright, let's see what I can find by means of gravel. I didn't have to look all that far, actually. And because we have Fortune 6, it's very easy to just take what we need and run with it. Now, let's see what we can come up with as far as a nether portal. I'm thinking probably up here would be cool. So we could do something like 3, 3. We'll decorate it from the outside to make sure that everything looks good. Easy enough, easy enough. I will clear this out a little bit. Perfect. All right, let's head to the nether. Let's see what we have in store. Alright, so all said and done, honestly, this wasn't a terrible nether trip. We got a lot of our durability back. That was nice. Well, okay, so really quickly, I think I'm going to start working on getting started for the next tier of our... Let's take some of this. The next tier of our create mechanisms, which would be to go through here. Whoops. Grab some of this stuff. Go through here and start working on some rose quartz. So rose quartz is 8 redstone and 1 quartz. So like I said, I needed a lot of both because you can just kind of blow through these. And then we need sandpaper, which is ironically sand and paper. We're going to need that. And then I believe it's just that. Yep, sandpaper. I think there's something weird with the clicking in this mod pack. Anyways, so you take sandpaper in one hand and the rose quartz in another. And you just right-click and hold. And that gets you the polished rose quartz that we're going to need for the electron tubes that we're going to need for... Where is it? Mechanical crafters. Perfect. Alrighty, so now with that handled, try to put some of this stuff away. I know we have a lot of quartz, and I don't think we can uncraft it once it has been crafted like this. It looks like kind of camp, but anyways, taking a look at how we can proceed from here, we're going to need to make those mechanical crafters, which is going to require a lot of cogwheels, this brass casing, which is just a bunch of vanilla material, aside from that brass, and then some crafting tables. So we're going to need this recipe 7 times. So let's get 7 crafting tables. Let's get... We need 7 of these electron tubes, so we're going to need... Is that... Iron, okay. Get 7 iron nuggets. I'm just going to trash the remainder. Is it 7 redstone torches? Easy enough as well. And we should now be able to craft ourselves up these electron tubes. Quest completed for that as well, apparently. I'm going to go ahead and accept the quest just to see if I happen to get anything good from it. Adjustable crate. These guys are... Yeah, these guys are actually really good. You can store a lot of items in here. So, wow. Wow. So, for example, part of why that's actually such a big deal, I've got... Oh, this is quartz crystal. Where'd I get all that? If I've got all this redstone, if I wanted to take this and increase the slot size, you can see it's dynamic. I can adjust how much of this I can actually use and not use. So it's pretty cool. These are pretty nice, and they do stack vertically. So I'm going to keep this here in the corner for a couple of little resources. For now, I'll just keep the redstone in there, but there is a lot of stuff we would probably want to keep in there. So then, from there, let's see, we need to make the mechanical crafter, so we're going to need 7 brass casings, which means we need this recipe twice. So that's just 4 brass, and I mentioned previously, we're going to use the engineer's hammer for this. Make the brass plates. It does damage, but I don't really necessarily concern myself with that. I think I can use the slabs. I can't remember if I needed the slabs for anything. And then we are going to need, lastly, the cogwheels. And fortunately, I actually have a lot of them made ready. So let's get... Oh, we need logs. I forgot about the logs. Do I have any logs that I don't really care about? Aspen. Perfect. We need this recipe twice, and then we need this recipe 7 times. And there we go, mechanical crafting. So if I toss some of this stuff in here where it belongs, in its corresponding chests at least, we should be free to get started with Create and the mechanical crafting in Create. Let's toss that in there, I suppose. Sorry, so much stuff. So much stuff. I don't know that we necessarily need all of these with us at all times. And we need our cogwheels. We may also need belts and shafts. So, to set this up, we're going to need the following. We're going to need our windmill power, and we're going to need to get our crafter set up in such a way that as you see, when I place this down, it pointed down because I placed it on the down side. But if I right-click on the left side, it's going to face left. We need these to all face in such a way that it can conveyor everything downwards. So we're going to do a central strip like so. Mess this up. Corners. Corners will not be necessary. So we will have these go into there, and then like so. So now you can follow the path of these, and these are all going to lead down to the same path. There is a problem, though, and that's that we need to get a cogwheel to get power into here. Now, to do that, we can do... I'm going to probably make a really clunky setup, and then I'll clean this up at some point with some of the create utilities that are around, because there are some that let you more easily rotate and transform and whatnot. So, trying to think here what the easiest way of flipping is. I can't remember if it's... is it... It's not that, no. Is it that and then... Yes? I can't remember. There's a way to flip. I cannot remember if it is... I think it's that, actually. Let's try. So if I put that there, and then I turn this on... Nope. Nope. Turn that on. And then if I put that here... Okay, that works. So this is a way to rotate our energy, which is good because we need to rotate this... preferably here. And then we'll need to rotate it again, it looks like. Maybe. Unless... we could actually use belts. These belts connect from here to here. You can see we can move things like so. You can also throw items at these when they're vertical. Apparently you cannot do it when they're horizontal like this, and that's totally logical, like when they're sideways rather. And so what we can do from here is take this up. I actually realized up would be smarter than down. So if we take this up one, like so, and then we do the rotation. Whoops. One too high. That. And that. That works, right? That's actually pretty clean, too. I don't see a need to clean this up all that much. I do kind of hate this, but it's alright. There's no need to be too terribly offended by it. I could possibly... Can you connect belts to these? No. Well, actually, hang on. It did a thing. You can. No, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, if I could connect a belt to that, I would maybe do it that way instead, but since I can't, no problem. We'll just do it this way. And then I can grab some stairs to help make this look a little better. Let's do that real quick. I think that'll be fine. Let me actually also grab just the plain deep slate in case we decide to decorate something else around it. Possibly, maybe. The reason I'm going with the stairs is just because it looks more natural. It kind of works better in my head to see it like this. Like, this to me works. This makes sense why this would fit. I'm not too concerned about the clipping. So there you can see that all these gears are connecting and spinning and running and doing what they need to do. So, lastly, we need to just make this guy. Way easier to do it this way than to try to do it with, like, a bunch of water wheels, at least in my opinion. So, let's get those crushing wheels, right? So we need... Ooh, that's a lot. That's... I actually don't even want to try to count that. I'm just going to guess. Well, I'm not going to guess. I'm going to take all of what I have, and then we don't need to guess, because this should be enough. And so to do the crafting, what you'll do is put the items in by right-clicking. And so for us, that's just a lot of this. And now you see it changed state a little bit. It like looked like it changed as far as kind of shifting into a movie state. It's you could tell the difference as soon as it activated. Everything got a little brighter and a little more interesting. So yeah, it will go here and do this big crafting recipe for us. And you can use this to automate vanilla crafting recipes as well. It doesn't have to be this giant recipe. You can always just do the 3x3 recipes in this as well. So you can see what it's trying to do. You can see it's trying to make a little T. And like I said, it's following the route of the conveyor belts that I created, so that means the item output is going to just get spit out on the ground here. If I had a chest here, it would also spit out into the chest. And so now that this locks together, it's going to do this cool little animation. And I can right-click it and take it back. So there we go. Pair of giants. So these crushing wheels are huge, and we're going to have to set them up next episode. The crushing wheels are a pretty smart mechanic. They work really well together. You have to place them kind of like this, where you have them right on top of each other, and we'll have to get them rotating in their own directions. So we're going to use a couple of the other create items for rotating and changing the direction of rotation next time. So thanks a lot for hanging out for this one. Sorry about the cut in the beginning for the water wheel thing. It turns out we didn't need that because none of these require water wheel ingredients anymore. I thought they did still, but turns out it's way simpler. So yeah, next time we'll get the crushing wheel set up so that we can 2x-ish our ores, and we'll be good to go. I think that's going to be super cool. But anyways, thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you guys in the next one.